Right, trying a new camera angle.
Okay.
Hope it works because I can't fiddle with the tripod, it hurts my hands.
Oh, okay. Yet again, I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to overlap with a previous vlog, but I've sort of made quite a bit of progress. Normally, I'll put the entire kit together before I paint and put transfers on. In this case, I haven't done that. I've left major proportions as yet unattached, as you can see. Mostly so that I could paint the invasion stripes partly by hand. I just wanted to get them sort of a bit uneven. I've managed that with the white. I used an off-white, whereas the transfers they supply across are a blinding white light, and the black is a deep dark black. And I wanted this is actually a black grey, so it's slightly off. It gives us a bit of a distance effect, slightly fading, and the white looks a bit uneven. So they would have been brush painted on by hand the day before, if not overnight. So I wanted to get that effect. So I sort of built in a certain amount of unevenness, which I'm quite pleased with, really. Did the rubber de-icing boots along the front with an AK felt tip acrylic marker. I think I used a Panzer Grey, because you really avoid using black for rubber, because if you look closely at rubber, it's usually a grey, not a black, and certainly at a distance. So there's along the wing and fin and tailplane leading edges. What I did before that, I gave it a overall spray of a light grey undercoat. I then, over the top of that, did my own mix of an olive drab on the fuselage and the wing centre section, with a colour that they actually call olive drab for the wings and the fin, because quite often you see different colours because the components came from different factories and were assembled in, I don't know, a main factory somewhere, so they were slightly different colours. Not entirely happy with the colour. It's quite a sort of straightforward dark green, and olive drab is notorious for I think it's a slightly different colour coming from different factories when it was put on, and I don't know whether it's more prone to fading in weather and sunshine and rain and the rest of it than others, but quite often you'll see it quite faded to a sort of khaki brownish green or a greenish brown, or no two were alike as far as I can gather. This is a bit sort of plain dark green for me. What I've done since then is to do an overall wash with the AK washes. So I've mixed light grey and sepia to get a tan effect. I've used that on the upper surfaces with some effect. It's sort of weathered it down a bit, not terribly visible, I don't suppose, but it sort of blends everything.
Oh, it is. I can see it in
Okay.
close up. Yeah.
So even the transfers should sort of blend in a bit, so they look painted on as well, along with the original colour. Still a bit sticky. I'm probably going to do more weathering. I've done a bit, but I want to do more. It looks a bit too clean.
It does, doesn't it? And it does. It doesn't. It doesn't look like
does.
it's something that you've weathered.
Looks like it's fresh out of the factory,
Yeah.
which it doesn't please me entirely. I'm not quite sure how to do it now.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, but I will. I'll probably put more layers of wash on, thin wash, to see if that brings it down a bit. But it's looking good. There was, as before, the massive fight to get the big components together. You think when you're looking at the parts in pieces, it's going to be good. That's the centre section, so the fuselage sits on top of there, and the wings go into these holes. And the wings you build spars on. Well, that looks good in the engineering point. I'm not sure anybody in the actually put it together. There's going to be a fight because when it goes straight on, the trailing edge here and this leading edge, this trailing edge don't match, and they should. So I'm going to have to put a big clamp on to glue it, and something similar with the other side. And I had to do a lot of filing, both of the spars themselves and the holes, to get them anywhere near fitting in. They do, but it's still going to have to be clamped quite hard while glue sets. But it's getting there. It's a surprisingly big aircraft. It's one of the things I find when I build airplanes, how the size they are. I often don't get the proportions in my head, even having seen the real things fly. But it's big. I'm quite surprised. So I'm reasonably happy with it. It's looking reasonably slightly grubby, and it's beginning to get there. I've actually found pictures of this particular aircraft in a museum in America, which is a bit helpful. I'm sure it's been repainted since the war. It's got a nose markings. Kilroy was here.
Don't move. Still don't move. It's not easy with this. I wish I'd got it handheld, but okay.
And the translator actually supplies you with an identical mirror image of this to go on the other side. I think it's highly unlikely that it was painted on both sides. So I've only done it on the one. It's developing. Hard work, some of it, big components, but the small components are nice. Engines have come up quite well. Replacement engine cowlings, because the ones that come with the kit aren't quite right. They don't look quite right, whereas these do look a lot better, so those will go on better. So I'm still, it's an astonishing aeroplane. Apparently, if I've got this right, the last one was built in about 1946. They are still flying. Not just preserved historical ones, they're still being used in places like Alaska for flying into rough airstrips, that kind of thing. They're still in use. There's even a company called Basler in America which will re-engine them for you if you've got one. They'll put gas turbines in instead of pistons, which are, I suppose, more efficient. Apparently the problem is because when you do that, the propellers are then exactly in line with the cockpit. They have to extend the cockpit so the cockpit isn't hammered by whistling propeller noises. So they have to extend the fuselage forward, so it ends up with a longer fuselage. And it costs the same apparently as 10 originally engined Dakotas. So a lot of people don't bother. But it's an astonishing aeroplane. It's just, I suppose, just over-engineered. It was a revolution at the time in airliners. It's just astonishing. It's still flying. It's a fabulous thing for that. Quite amazing. So, still got masking in for when I've got to put a coat of matte over it when I've finally got as far as I can with weathering and the rest of it. But yeah, getting there. So there'll be at least one more to come in this series.
Yippee!
Yippee! I'm sort of looking forward to getting it finished, actually.
What are you going to do? You said something about that you were going to do something afterwards.
We're going to have to clear this room out because you've got somebody coming to redo it entirely.
Oh, it's months away, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm thinking I might start on a Messerschmitt 110G. I've had setting in my stash ready from Edouard. I think Edouard are Ukrainian. I'm not sure. I think they are, or Czechoslovakian. Nice little company, but they make very nice models. very intricate, beautiful surface tuner. But the 110G was a night fighter in the Luftwaffe, horribly successful. Intriguing camouflage. What's more intriguing is my father, when he was an air gunner, mid-upper gunner on a Halifax B3. He only flew 13 operations because he was only just old enough to get into the war quite late on, February 1945. But he shot one down. At the time, it was only given as a probable. Nobody could confirm it, which is not uncommon. But I posted it on Facebook ages ago now, and somebody responded and checked on Luftwaffe records, and they did lose a few Messerschmitt 110s that night in that area. So it seems highly likely he did manage to shoot one down. From what I can remember him saying, it was out on the starboard beam and was about to turn in, attack them. So he saved the aircraft, I think, one would guess. So, 110G next. Intricate camouflage, complicated, but it.
That's it.
Oh, that's enough. Right, okay, bye.
Director,
Au revoir.
I need one of those clapper boards.
What, instead of clipping me around the ear?
You can do that if you like.
No, I'm not particularly keen on it, no.
Okay, say goodbye.
Bye.